I'm seriously outnumbered today. Usually it's me talking and Dan and Charlotte there. I had Sam down the last one. The Aussies have taken over. Abby's with me.
Taken over here.
Abby's with me. And VOE join us.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah. Abby, official welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, you obviously were with us for about, I think the intro was like a minute long on the Beach Grind pod, but now you've officially taken what is my seat. So next episode, expect to be the Abby show.
Yeah.
Solely by herself.
Here to stay.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, I think before we get into any music chat, I want to talk about Australia. Love your guys' country. I'm a big fan. I'm a really big fan. Tell us where you guys are from, how come you're over to the UK, etc. A bit of the backstory and what is to come.
Well, obviously Australia. So we're from Adelaide. So small, the city that everyone forgets a lot of the time. I have to
The
say.
downest of the unders.
Yeah. So South Australia, Adelaide, and we've come over here, I guess, for a lot of reasons. Obviously, mostly to tour and play shows, and like something that we've been working at for a long time is trying to get over here and play shows and
meet the people that we've been working with.
That's the
online.
other trip. Yeah, exactly.
All the Skypes and really weird time zones trying to match people. So it's been really good. Getting to meet people face to face, have a dinner, have a coffee, and obviously just get as much experience over here doing shows and get some studio time in and do some songwriting and just make the most of it. Yeah.
And there's more drum and bass here as well.
Yeah.
So that's a
Well, this is what I was saying. So you're from Perth, right?
I'm from Perth.
Yes.
So
West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That is correct.
Okay. There we go. That's right.
I think anyone that's not from Sydney or Melbourne will back you up on the fact that the West Coast is the best
Okay,
coast.
fair
Anywhere
enough.
else in the country.
Yeah, we're pretty chill. We don't care.
unanimous.
We're like, sure, have the title.
Yeah, we don't care.
I did the East Coast run, which is like, I realised that it's just like British people like partying basically, like on the backpacking run. But I was saying to Abby before, like whenever it is that I next get back to Australia, I just want to like get a car and drive up the West Coast and just see like, do you have a pink beach or something?
Yeah, we do. We've got salt flats. So it's not actually the sand that's pink, it's the salt. And so when it gets to the top, I can't remember what the word is, like when it touches the air, it turns pink. And so that's why it looks like that. But I think they were saying you can actually see parts of it from the top of the atmosphere or something crazy like that because it's so big.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Except if you walk on it and you walk too far, you fall through and it's just like horrible brown underneath. I found it the hard way.
The illusion is broken.
Just a warning. Yeah.
You just have there's just dangerous stuff going on in your country, guys. Although this has been a regular conversation which happened at Estonia every time like an artist would come up that hasn't been to Australia and would say this to you and be like, what about the spiders? I only saw one.
You don't
the whole
see
time
them.
I was
No,
there.
they watch you.
Oh no.
Yeah, you don't see them.
yeah. They're like
Tell him
ninjas. They just hide in the shadows. So you're like,
I always say, like, if you see a big one, that means that there's less little ones. So the big ones, the huntsmans that are the size of your hand, they're not poisonous. They can, like, run at you and give you a fright. Like, if you take your windscreen, your shield down from the car and it just drops on you as you're driving. That's, like, I think probably
that's
many...
an Australian experience.
Yeah, many unsolved car accidents, I believe, are led by spiders.
Oh my god.
But the big spiders eat like the poisonous, the little ones, the redbacks and the
but they're bad, right? The little red ones.
Yeah,
definitely.
So
But you find more in the country, to be fair. So if you're in the city, like you don't see them as often. But if you go out to the country and lift up any hay bale, you'll be like, oh.
Yeah, I had a few friends that did like they were doing their days, so they went like and did strawberry picking or something.
Yeah.
And they like interacted with more creatures than I did. I fed a wallaby. Which
That's like the most deadly in Australia.
Straight for the throat.
Tear out your insides. Yeah.
And he was like the little fat boy of the group as well. And like
Even worse.
We went into the little
Wait,
cave.
the wallaby or the friend?
Oh, jeez.
No, seriously.
The wallaby, yeah. And we went into this little... It was on an island, I think, Magnetic.
Magnetic. So you would have been along
beautiful.
Queensland.
Yeah. Which was a lovely place. I had a little car, drove around. And this is so fun for me, by the way. This is like an out-of-body thought mid-podcast. I can just talk about my holiday right now. And I'm with us. There's a
Did you go to Australia.
I went travelling.
Did you go to
wow.
New Zealand as well?
I did go to New Zealand.
Oh my God,
It's
I
like
did
wasted
not
on
know.
us because we're like, oh yeah, cool, like
It's
Australia. We're like in another country, like, oh sick, Europe. This is so like exotic, and you're like, so Australia, like yeah.
Talk to me about the place that you live all the time, not the place you're in. Yeah. But the wallaby was great, and yeah, he was a little cute boy, and he ate some actual feed out my hands, not.
Are we still talking about the friend here? I'm
Back to
confused.
the wallaby.
No,
Back to
the
the
fat boy
wallaby.
was the
Eating out
wallaby.
your
The
hands,
friend,
is it?
I don't know if the friend's a little fat boy or not.
No, he's a small man, but he's not.
Oh, yeah.
Short king.
Short king
season.
It's the season, man. But you guys actually know each other way before I met anyone.
Yeah, through drum and bass as well.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, exactly.
We've probably known each other about 2 years.
2-3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, a while. And I'm actually wearing the jumper, the
Represent.
merch for
Yeah.
the event that I first met them at.
Shout out
So,
to
what
Jeff
was
Big
that?
Shout out
Boy.
to Big Jeff.
Yeah, talk
So
us
this
through
is
it.
this is Inhibit. So this is my first music job when I was back in Australia. So it's a promotions label.
Mm-hmm.
But then the man who runs it also does a little bit of artist management, and one of his guys were these guys.
Hello.
So that's how we ended up meeting. So I was just helping out with little advancing and artist management bits
Oh, nice.
back in the day.
Yeah, and I think it was we came to you guys when we met you. It wasn't the Sydney
You came over
show.
into the Viper show.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
they came over into the Viper show, and it was like you guys, I think it was Blaine Stranger,
Yep.
Sullivan France,
Echo.
and Sidetrack.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was a good show. They
that was
put
a
on a
really
good
fun
performance.
show, yeah.
Oh, Tom wasn't there for that one.
No, I feel like I'm missing something.
But I think it was one of the first ones post-COVID.
Yes.
And so it just went off because everyone was just
Oh,
so happy to
sick.
be there. It was like, I mean, we really didn't cop it with lockdown compared to you guys, but yeah, everyone was just happy to be out, at the clubs, drinking, drum and bass. Like, it was just such a good vibe.
Sick, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that can bring us onto the live show quite nicely. I mean, you said you guys obviously doing the run around Europe at the moment, and I like to sort of have a bit of a deep dive on the Instagram, look back into what artists have done. Obviously, you've worked with us before, and we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, Abby mentioned to me, she was like, yeah. I was like, oh, what's the guy's live show like? And then you took me through what it is that these guys do when they play. I use the word, I think, just organised chaos.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is correct.
I mean, how do you get to a point where you're DJing, you've vocals, you've got a guitar? Like, where did that idea come from, and how are you performing to such a level?
Wizardry.
Yeah.
No, we sort of come together really well with like the live version, like live verse production. So Tom's been producing for years, I've been performing for years. So with our live shows, what we're able to do is curate sets that are like include all of our original tracks, but because we always want to go heavier, Tom can create these amazing VIPs and redrops, and we understand that it is unhinged when we are on stage. So we need to have that controlled chaos so that we can just be completely free when we're on stage. So I know when I'm singing, Tom knows when he's singing.
Yeah.
We allow a break so we don't die, because you'll see in the energies of the show that we are just sweating. And like, I think we did Rampage recently, and even Slovenia, it was so hot, and we're like dripping with sweat. We're like, we're like breathing between the sets. But it has to be like we practice, and we watch other people's sets, and we sort of get an idea of how everything should flow and what feels comfortable for us, introducing like new vocal songs and stuff that people haven't heard. And I think we talk about having an experience that you won't get on Spotify when you watch a show.
Oh, 100%. I think another part of it though was like our inspiration from like live bands and like metal, especially as you hear, there's like Paramore and Evanescence and those kind of like.
I've started doing fry screams during the sets.
Obviously, like a classic is Pendulum as well, and like seeing live vocals in drum and bass in the past, like it's just that was always part of like I think both of our dreams of like live performance. We just imagined that you're like performing live, you're performing your songs, you're singing, like it wasn't really much of a question. It was just like, oh cool, so like how are we going to do our shows, like when are you going to sing? And we're like, oh yeah, cool, that's what we're doing. Like I think rather than going like DJ set into it, we just went like, oh, we're doing live shows, so how do we work out, how do we get the vocals in there? And the guitar was just an accessory. I was just like, oh, I've got like who else has like why not?
Why not? He whips out these mad skills one day. I'm like, well, that's in the show. Like, what the hell?
We're like, all right.
We used to have a drum pad as well, but because there is so much going on,
hit it too hard.
we definitely want it to be as tight as possible. But like I said, it is controlled chaos. It is wild, and it's something that when we're doing our live performances, we want people to walk away and either just if they know who we are, be like, oh my God, that was amazing. Or if they didn't know who we are, be like, what the
now they
was
know.
that?
Well, you see a similar thing. I've watched Coven perform.
Yes. Oh, she's amazing.
So, yeah, Katie's sick when she performs. And I think, where did we watch Katie first time? Was it in Shoreditch somewhere? Yeah, in Colours in Hoxton. And that was the first like time I'd seen a performance of that kind of, I don't know, type and scale, because she's singing, she's performing, like there's elements of like choreography when she's like, she knows she's interacting with the audience at that point, and then she's going and mixing a track and like running back and forth and like I mean, I imagine like seeing these guys play as well, it's like, it's how much not only focus but like, I guess, passion you have to have, because you can't just walk back and forth and play different instruments and sing a song. You've got to keep the level of performance up. It's seriously impressive.
I have 2 gym memberships to do that.
I didn't know.
And we would also like to be sponsored by Red Bull.
There we go.
Yeah, we do have like, it's like whiskey and Red Bull as our fuel before a show. I think, so.
But not too much, because otherwise then
we tried that so many times. We found out like more than 2 shots of any form of alcohol before. We just like, at least myself, I just stand there and I like forget I'm mixing. I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm like relaxed, and I'm like, oh shit, oh no, like
I'm the DJ.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm just like, oh, this is cool. I like this song.
Yeah, what a good song. But the energy, especially like Katie's definitely someone that we've taken notes from, and like Rob Swire, and because like their professionalism and everything sounds so clean.
Super
and everything
clean.
sounds and the energy, it is high energy, and like you do find sometimes after the show, like you have to allow for a bit of downtime, because having that much
the amount
energy,
of adrenaline and the shaking and the why is my neck hurt, and
why is my physio so angry at me? But it's definitely like, if you're going to do it long term, like you have to find ways that you can do it in a healthy and consistent and sustainable way, and like being able to watch other artists sort of pave the way for us with the live aspect mixing with the DJ shows. We've sort of been able to better our sets and just bring a little bit of Australian craziness to the UK and the EU streams.
It's needed. I mean, you guys are playing Rampage, right?
Yes.
You're
Played,
going out there as well.
Played, You're playing Let It Roll though, which
Let It Roll. Sorry,
nice. So that will be amazing.
When is that, as of
So
time
it's
recorded?
Like, what, 2 weeks?
4th of August.
2.5 weeks away.
4th of August.
It's really creeping.
Yes, it is creeping up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
See, I've realised this, like, the podcast has been a real good sort of learning curve for me, like in the scene of electronic music, because like, I mean, I listen to electronic music to a degree, but since starting NCS, like way back, I've like got more and more into it, like seen different shows. Obviously we did Estonia, that was sick. You're like actually a major fan of like genres, especially like, you like D&B, right?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Put her on the spot.
Put her on the spot. Yeah.
That's all right, you know.
But I guess what my point being is that you talk through then of like how it's about you need that precision to make a show to a certain level. As like a listener or someone that's a fan of music, like say for yourself, Abby, if you're there, being able to see not just someone on a set of decks, but seeing like a performance like these guys obviously gives a whole another level.
Yeah, it adds a completely different element to it. And like, I'm a massive fan of shows like that, because I think I saw you guys do it first. Obviously grew up listening to Pendulum. But then there's so many more that are popping up on the scene now that are adding live elements to their show. And I think it's just like raising the bar so constantly for this genre, but also putting it more in the forefront of people's minds, because there's like this really interesting aspect to it that people want to be involved with. So it's great. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. Like, going on to what you were just saying, like it is pushing it a bit, and I'm hoping it will open up a lot of people that were like, no, that's not normal. Like, people get a bit, I guess, restricted and told that like, that's how I've seen a DJ as a DJ. The guys like, you get a lot of like male DJs that just stand there, like they do amazing sets, but it's very much like the classic, it's safe in a sense. Then hopefully like seeing more people do like push it with live elements, like you're saying, they might be like, oh okay, that's okay now, I'll have a to try and start singing.
Or even like inviting more vocalists to jump on their sets, or like for me, I remember back 2012 I watched Prodigy at a festival in Australia. I think it was like Future Music, and they had I was like, I am a very young person. But I remember watching them, and they had the live drums and the live guitar, and I had this like out of body moment where like full pins and needles, foot to head, going like, I'm gonna do that. And I had it again watching Rudimental a few years later with the live performance. And this really ran. I started like crying during their set. I'm like, I'm going to do that. And at that stage, I didn't know who Tom was. Like, I wasn't doing drum and bass at the time. But it's weird that in both those sets, I like had this full moment where I was like, That's what I want to do.
Cool.
But there was just at that time like no instructions of how to get there, and at that point I wasn't even really writing electronic music. I was doing like acoustic stuff. So, but yeah, you see those things and you have no idea subconsciously like what impact you can have watching a show. And like Tom was saying, there could be so many other producers or musicians who I was like, oh, you know, I don't know how to get onto a live show. Well, you know, talk to a DJ, talk to people who are doing regular sets. You can jump up and play trumpet or, you know, marimbas or whatever. And then you've got access for like more live music at electronic. And then it's not so out of the world or out of the ballpark bringing that in.
Exactly.
So you mentioned like you came from that acoustic side, then writing for electronic. Obviously you guys met, start working together, performing live. When it comes to the process of kind of getting a song, obviously you mentioned Tom, you've got the production side of things, you might twist things for an edit for live, but what's the actual track approach when it comes to an idea? What's the organic approach? I'm always interested because different producers really take different lanes.
We never stick to a lane though.
We've got some like it's interesting because even looking back over our tracks, you can hear the difference in the outcome from how we started it, like from the process behind it. Like we found our favorite one is usually, because I'm a pianist, which helps with the guitar as well. But so like starting with like an acoustic track, like writing it like we're just writing a song. I've always I find a much stronger connection in terms of the songwriting. When you are writing a song, you're not writing like a track and then working out how to make it a song. And I think that applies to a lot of like producers and stuff. But so a lot of our favorite ones has come from like Caroline's either had an idea, whether it's an experience or emotion, or maybe she's got some lyrics, or I'm just playing piano or whatever. And then just combining that. So it's just piano, vocals, and we just start with chords and work it out from there. From that's when we like bring it into FL Studio, which is what I use, and get the chords out and then start building the track around it. And usually I go off and sit in a dark corner by myself until 3 a.m. just making weird sounds for it. That's how like I think
most of them. Or the other way is like Tom he'll have like a few different projects and he'll be like, all right, I know we've got stuff to do, but I just want to show you this song. And I'm like, are you prepared for me to write for it? Does this need vocals? Because I will sit and write
there's
right
so many
now.
times where I'm like this is just my song. Just leave it alone for now. Then it's like I've got an idea. I'm like, damn it. That's not a bad thing.
No, I always do a caveat first because then I won't get excited. I won't open up the portal to songwriting. But like if he shows me something, he's like, yeah, I want vocals for this. Then I'm like, sweet, and I just go into like
just lock in.
Yeah. So normally like we try to get our first impressions down. So most of the tracks that we write are like the first ideas that have come to our heads, and then we can sort of go back and forth then and there. And I don't know, not that we've got too many songs that we've held on to and like gone back and forth on, but it just feels more organic if you're in that moment and you're very excited about that track in that second.
Even just feeling the emotions in that moment.
Yeah, especially if like I'm going through some whatever I feel like I'm writing about, but it just I don't know, it's hard to redo that moment or like. Oh yeah,
sometimes just the first take. It's got the emotion. You're writing.
Organic, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's almost like freestyling off the experience or the story you're telling or whatever.
Yeah.
So it is going to be hard to tap in and remember exactly what you're feeling and why you're feeling it.
We always record all the takes as well because Tom will be like, that was amazing, do it again. I'm like, I have no memory of it.
I
don't remember 100%. What I said, what I did.
It's very different. Like for me, it's like I remember it every time. Like I hear once and I can like. It lasts for a long time in my head. I can like play it back. Like, no, you did this, and then Caroline's just like sings the most amazing thing. It's like what? They're like, no, it was there. Like, what? No.
I like return back in the room, and be like, where am I?
Oh yeah.
But that shows like how much these things are like emotionally affected, because it's like in that specific moment you could do that, but then that moment's gone. You're like, right, okay, and you can't really generate that feeling, right? It just is. It either is or isn't.
Yeah, definitely.
What's Is this the right name of the track? Take what you want.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
Abby was saying she
favorite.
Abby.
Yeah,
it's so good. I love it. Such a tune that.
It's a bit of a bang. Yeah, that one I wrote about. It was just like it wasn't even a serious relationship. It was just a thing, but it was like someone who was just playing heaps of games, and I was just like, take what you want. Like, leave me behind. I'm not prepared to play in a game that makes me cry. But yeah, it's all stuff like that I've been dealing with that I need to get out, because I tend to like ruminate on things and not obsess, but I really struggle to get ideas. And if I'm upset about something, it's hard to get rid of those thoughts until I get them out. So once I've written something, then I've changed what that format is. It's no longer a thought. It's no longer something that's bothering me. Now it's going to be a track. Now it's going to be something I can use. And I'm like, I've actually made something out of this shitty situation, and then it turns like into gold, and then we release it. And how other people have perceived it, has, especially that song, has been crazy. Like we've had at shows recently, like heaps of women crying during the sets, because like for them that was like a leaving. That sounds odd. Yeah, you got
to specify.
Sorry, crying in a happy way.
We have lots of heaps of women crying in our shows. Full stop. Yeah.
But people have said like that's a therapy song for them, because they were leaving some really hard situations relationship wise, and some have posted like dangerous situations that they were leaving from, and then they heard that song and that sort of pushed them through. And I would never have expected that would be the result from that. I was writing something for me to get through a situation, so now that's become a tool for other people is like, there's no words.
It's really cool. Like you see so many awesome bands and like songwriters in general that write songs that people connect to, and like it becomes their own therapy. So it's cool seeing it come full circle and like getting that reaction from people from ourselves.
We got one.
We got one.
A full circle.
The podcast called Full Circle.
Sick, yeah.
That's the new game, by the way.
How many times can we get them to unwittingly say Full Circle?
I like it.
On the podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we got one. One.
You need a buzzer. Ding.
We do. Big red button.
Shall I put that on the list? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You spoke about playing games. Wreck out.
Wow.
Smooth.
Transition
Come on. You were part of our track and build.
Yes.
We spoke a little bit about it off camera. This was pre-Sam time, so I don't even know much about what exactly that was. Do you want to talk about the process for it, and then we'll play a bit of Giants and we'll talk about that track.
Okay. Do you want to lead?
Yeah, sure. So that one, I mean, initially for us it was just a competition that came up with, because we obviously have followed Coven for a while, and so Katie or Coven posted on their socials about track and build, this competition. It was like NCS, like humongous label, obviously you guys, and then like Coven and Label Radar. So it was like, sick, this sounds perfect up at, like, we're just all over it. But all it was like basically submitting a track, and the tracks had to fit with the vibe of this game, like kind of what you'd imagine to be in a fast-paced game. So we're like, okay, cool. One thing we noticed though, going through the process, there was nowhere in the rules that said how many times you could enter. Like most of them, remix comps, you get like one entry, maybe two if you're lucky. We're like, challenge accepted.
Like, submit one. Oh, cool. Submit the
second. Yeah, we've got plenty of tracks that could all fit that vibe. So let's just pick our top 5.
Work smart and not hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so from that, just like a little side note from track and build, like that's how we met. Obviously Coven, and then how we met James, Coven Managers, who's how we connected with Viper. And I've got this funny theory that like we entered so many tracks that they like, rather than him being like, it's like, oh, these guys sound amazing, we want to manage them, it's like they need management.
I mean, it obviously worked out.
Exactly.
Let's listen to Giants. I was listening to this track literally yesterday to get myself in the mood.
Get yourself amped up.
In the mood, exactly. Yeah.
I'll skip through to get to the track. So it's both of you, right?
Yeah.
That melody in that drop's nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
Cheers.
So cool.
It's got real pendulum vibes, that one.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
Even like the breakdown was really cool when we were like putting that together. It was like,
Yeah.
It's epic. But yeah, when Tom had written the bass of that, and then I'd come through to do harmonies. But that was one of the ones when I heard it, I was like, oh, this is a bit special. This is a bit spicy. This one, I was like, please let me get my vocals on it too. Oh, please.
That's one that was in the moment, and that was now I can do it right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's funny with the harmonies because we always like used to try outdo each other. Like we'd be like, oh, that's really nice. I'll just do one, and then we'd be like, all right, well, I'm just going to do another one. So then we just end up
competing for the high harmony as well.
So
like,
then
got like a whole new project that's just like
stacks on stacks of just us
like
being
in the
petty.
office, like Michael always has to sing the highest note of the happy birthday, but us in harmonies. It's like,
that's jokes.
What a show.
I mean, the song worked really well, and I mean, obviously worked for the game as well. And then you said that led towards working with Viper.
Oh, 100%.
So talk us, a bit about that. Super interesting.
Yeah, well, they came through and they were like, okay, here's 5 tracks. These are really great. Can you send us some more? So we sent another 5 and they were like, oh, can you just send us everything you've got? So we sent like another 25, 30 tracks.
Yeah, we were just like, all right.
We're sitting on that much catalogue.
We're still,
Wow.
and we'll keep writing.
Silly, and that's our cream of the crop kind of like.
Done.
We've got endless tracks we've started, but then there's like, all right, these are the full songs. These are the ones that are like ready to
ready to go.
And,
So we sort of, I think the NCS competition helped us catch their eye, and they were just like, what the hell are you guys? Like, what are you? And because we were like both before releasing with Viper, like 10, 15 years under our belts of performance and live production, we were just ready to go. Like, we've been ready for a long time. And, you know, before COVID, we were looking at coming to Europe and like doing a similar tour of this and like, how do we get that started? But then, we were just planning and working and writing in that time that we couldn't really do anything else. We just head down, bum up, work. Like, I was looking after my grandpa, and like in between the news, he would like put the ads on silent so I could record Not Thinking Straight in the other room. He's like, and it's back on. I have to like sit and wait for the news. But like, in that time, we buckled the F down and just worked. So when we got in contact with Viper, we were like a slingshot. We were ready to go.
I think they're almost like the final piece of the puzzle that we needed for like this to get where we are now. It was like, we had all the songs, we had all our socials together, everything we're doing. It was just like having that next stage of like a bit of management and a bit of like a label to do like the whole get us out into the world and the right connections. So Viper just filled that puzzle for us, that piece. And
it feels like and whether you intended it or not, that's like, feels like a good bit of advice for any upcoming producers. Like, there's no real bad idea. Like, if you can build your catalog out and have that like back in, when the idea or when the opportunity comes up like that, you're so like loaded.
Exactly. There's no issue of like the longer you spend. Like, of course, don't sit on your tracks forever. Like, you got to send them to people, but like if they keep, it doesn't matter if you don't get rejected, as everyone goes through that. But like, for us, it was just, we just kept building up songs, and even ones that now that we had sent off, there's funny ones where like, oh, now you like a Brendan, like that we had sent to him years ago. I was like, interesting. But like, I think because it was like so full circle. Can I say that again?
Too deep.
Exactly. Like tracks that were initially like I imagined would be suitable for like Viper or similar labels. Now we're on the label, and now he's hearing them. Like, even though he'd heard them before, but now connected with the other ones, and now just that next step. And then
it's almost like in context, like why you should be listening to it, not just like, oh, here's a cool song. Like, we've worked really hard, we've got this catalog, we've got these connections.
Even
so
then, it just connects with the other songs released, and it can be like, now I get it. Now I get why this sounds like this. It's not just like, it connects with all the other things.
You just need that moment, right? And then once it's lined up, it's there.
Exactly.
But definitely, like with music, more is more if you're creating, because I've had heaps of artists be like, no, you just need to get that one song, and then they just focus everything on that one song, and you know, it may do amazingly, or it might do maybe a bit more average, or it wasn't what they expected, and get really upset and sort of like hold on to it, like, oh, it should have done this, should have done that. Whereas our mentality is like, we just want to get music out, and and how it's received. If it's good, great. If it's not, that's not going to stop us.
Like, sorry, we still like it. Here's another 30.
And I mean, that whole sort of progression there has now led to when, as of this episode going out, is going to be around the time of release. Talk about the EP.
Well, this is our second EP for Viper.
Yes.
So we've had like a couple of singles, and then obviously then one EP last year, which was Chemical, but then this one we've released 3 of the tracks so far.
So we've done We Will, Left Unsaid, and The Impact,
and then we've got another 3 coming out on the EP, which is
y'all
fun.
haven't heard,
but we're just stoked to be getting out more music. And like, obviously with EPs, it's cool, like we've spent a while going through the tracks and working out what connects and makes the kind of story we hope for. And so this EP does like tell the piece of the story, I guess, as VOE as this, I guess, how it all connects in terms of the tracks and stories and stuff.
Super unique thing with this EP is 2 of the tracks are written by fans or like contributions.
Oh wow!
How does that work?
Well, during COVID, we were working for a company or a business called Northern Sound System. So we were doing music facilitation for youth. We were offering free studio time and free recording, and Tom would produce for free. But obviously when everything went down, we wanted to be able to still stay in contact with the students and make sure that they're all good, and just sort of not be like in their lives, but just be like, just making sure you guys are still being productive and that you're safe. And so we had this like live stream. Tom would do the first hour and he would do production in Adelaide, and then I'd be in Mount Gambier with my family and I would do the second hour of songwriting. So I would watch in and like just be a jerk on the in the chats to Tom, but everyone would say like, do this sample, say this, like put these in. And
we were very much open to, like, we tried to get everyone involved as much as we can. So it's like, give us feedback on which direction you want this to go. Like, what do you want next?
Do you want a heavy drop, or do you want, like, I think we did a liquid one day, and we did a dubstep one just for
anything but country. That was kind
of but one of the tracks in particular, Sanity, I watched him make the instrumental with everyone on the stream, and I was sort of just like jotting down little ideas, and then it was my turn to do the vocal stream, and people were at that point, I think we were 3 or 4 sessions in, so they were really comfortable about contributing, which was amazing. And we were just getting bars and like paragraphs from people, so I was sort of stitching things together. And so there is actually a live stream of us making that song, which is crazy. And one of the guys that was on it and who was consistently on it every week is a friend of ours called Maddie Ford, and we were like, look, we've noticed that you are a really great songwriter. We've got something on the side that, you know, I haven't written anything for yet. Would you like to take a crack at it? And he's like, oh, I'm not really a songwriter, and then comes back with, we will.
We're just like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. We'll just leave this with you, though. Like,
oh, my God.
And, like, voice notes of how to sing it.
Like, he ruled it, like, the whole thing was complete as well. It wasn't like just, like, I've got some ideas. It was like, here's a song. Here's, like, damn.
That's so cool. I mean, that's an amazing thing to be able to, I mean, you're not necessarily, I mean, you are actually giving back and having that contribution, which is an amazing thing to do. But for you've just inspired this person who didn't even consider themselves a songwriter and prove that you can do it.
Even after that, even he's still very like modest man. Just sound like, no, I don't write songs.
That's crazy.
And now we've just like talked about him.
It's getting released now. We're gonna force him into it.
Amazing. Yeah, that's the pressure when you watch this.
Release.
There you go. There you go.
So if everyone wants the lyrics, contact Maddie Ford.
We put like email in the show notes. Exactly.
Speaking of new NCS releases, we have a little bit on the podcast where we'll play a few songs that we've got coming out, and it'd be super cool to get you guys' reaction. Yeah, definitely. Big fan of Raud.
Huge fan of Raud, yeah. He's been one of the most interesting and creative artists I think we've had through in the time that I've started. So that's 6 months, so not long, but the guy's just the whole package.
Yeah. He's got a really cool brand, really cool sound.
Yeah, and he creatively directed his own music video.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, sick. Yeah, it's in this kind of like indie dance, pop punky vibe.
Yeah, real Triple J. Like
okay, cool.
It's been so
You better call me up. Whenever you're gone, I can change a lot. I don't need the shots if you're so alive, but I need you now. Yeah, I need you. You
love his voice, man.
Yeah, that's nice.
Whenever you're gone, I can change a lot. I don't need the shots if you're so alive, but I need you now. Yeah, I need you now. I don't know. You got me out of control.
It's just like indie, isn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you were so right about the Triple J vibe.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys would know him. It's he really reminds me of this Australian rapper called All Day.
Oh yes. All Day used to work or like come through Northern Sound System when we worked. Like it's
that
literally
that would be
it's a third full circle.
It's like a full circle. Yeah.
Oh my God, 3.
But like that's the sort of music I want to be like in the sun cruising.
I was
like,
thinking cruising on the coast as well.
Such a coastal tune.
It's real Hottest 100 by the pool vibe.
Yes. Oh my God.
Your dad's mate on the Barbie.
I'm a big fan of Raud. That tune's super cool. Sun, that was called. There we go.
There you go. He captured it perfectly.
Servant's purpose. Next up, Mania, Pick Up the Pieces, featuring, how would you say this? Caesar?
I would say Cesar Santolo.
And
this is a liquid drum and bass track, this one. I also really like this entire EP.
Yeah.
Sick.
Cool.
I could be the one you run to when the moon hits the ground. I can say what I'm feeling, but the words
Sick vocal again.
come out. If you ever feel lonely, girl, just know I'll come around.
Oh, it's nice little harmony.
Travel so far just to get
Love the thumb piano as well.
The production on this is just really.
Super like liquid, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
really quite minimal actually.
But everything's in its right place though. You can just hear all like the vocals, the little backing, like the oohs and like the everything's neatly done.
Yeah.
But that perfect like the emotion, like when he's leading up in the bridge or like the pre-chorus. There's the sort of stuff that sort of gives you goosebumps, like if you're listening to it at a festival and you hear like those little, because everything's all spaced out and you've got everything in speakers.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
when,
enveloping.
I don't know what the you guys will know. I don't have a clue. It's when the DJ makes it go.
Like a filter.
Filtering it down.
There's a name for that. There you go.
It's the
The whoop thing. Yeah.
What do they call the thing when the DJ turns off the music for just like 2 seconds and everybody sings the really famous lyric and then turns it back on? Is there a name for that?
I don't know. There should be a name
There should
for
be
that.
a name for that, right?
Yeah.
Because every time I go to explain it, I have to say that entire like 20 words.
Thing where they turn.
The thing where they turn off the music.
Oh, you mean silence?
yeah. Like
But
volume
there's not
control.
because there's vocals.
it's not, it isn't,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a DJ and I don't know
I'm not
enough,
a DJ.
no.
I've never even turned on the decks.
I learned how to press the sync button and then press the pause play button in time. That's about as far as it's gone, which I think is basically
That's DJing.
Is
That's,
it? Okay, great.
No, you're good.
There you go.
Modern DJ.
There we go. What I thought would be really fun, as we've got a collection of Aussies here and a man who has been there. If you didn't know,
Have you?
Someone who's
Fed a
a
wallaby.
professional
There we go.
Australian visitor. Yeah.
The wallaby. That's so good. We've got some Aussie snacks and UK snacks. We're going to do a little comparison. Sorry, Lad Bible, for stealing your content idea. I think they did
won't
something
even
like that.
notice.
They won't know.
Chip on the block.
Yeah, who cares? But yeah, we're going to do what we've tried to find ones that match up. Emily's got them here. Which one should we go with first? Whatever you like. Oh, these are iconic. Yeah, let's do
Oh
this.
yeah.
Oh,
Pass these
man.
on down.
Yeah.
Shotgun
The
pizza.
classics. What have we got? So we've got pizza and we've got barbecue. So I'm a barbecue fan.
Okay.
So you guys.
No, pizza
Yeah,
all the way.
we actually have pizza shapes on our rider.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Australia
so
and New
good.
Zealand.
That's right, you do, don't you?
Yeah.
And
So-
then we've got these ones for you.
Oh, was I supposed to wait? Oh,
So let's go.
no,
No. I'm just thinking about format. So let's go. Yeah, get yourself some shapes and then
Alright,
give them mini
Yeah.
cheddars as
And we've
well.
got
Yeah.
mini
Mini
cheddars to
cheddars.
Carolyn.
We,
and
we
Monster
get them ready
Munch
to eat, I
Tom.
assume.
Yeah, so then you can go. Why don't you can do the home favorite first, and then
Okay.
try yourself a mini cheddar, and then you can
Okay.
do comparison. Thank you. Oh, I'll try some as well.
I think I'm just gonna eat some shapes.
shapes.
It's been a while.
All right, cool. Let's get the shapes going.
Do you want to
Now-
have? Do you want
I'll
a
have a
shape
shape.
as well?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
have a
you have a
shape.
shape.
Is there a scale of judgment?
I think you could pick which one's your favorite,
Okay.
and you have to. I mean, maybe try and be unbiased, but the shape is good.
The shapes are good.
Are we doing this AMSR as well? Like,
I'm going to be opening the packet now.
I like the shape.
You go do the unboxing as well.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Have
still
you
gotta
ever
shake
wanted
my
your
hand.
ASMR to be really annoying?
Okay,
Oh, when
so
they always do like the tap on the thing.
Yeah.
Is this like is this a fetish thing as
We
well?
call
It's
this-
a foot, or is it?
it's a monster munch, but there was a thing that went around that apparently it's meant to be a monster.
Oh,
Oh, that makes.
I don't
Not-
believe
not a
it.
foot,
I think
because it looks
I
like a
think it's
foot,
a
yeah.
foot, but apparently that's it. But I don't.
Maybe
believe
they
it.
were just worried about the
So-
connotations.
Okay, so now we'll try the monster munch and the mini cheddar.
all right.
Right.
It is real ASMR, isn't it?
Yeah, that's tasty.
These are pretty good.
This is a big crisp.
I don't want to be biased,
Acceptable.
but I think I like the pizza shape because it's got all the flavors coming off it. I want more flavor.
I
think
can
if this
see the
had-
flavor.
Yeah,
It does specify flavor you can see.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's-
kind of disappointed I can't see the flavor
On the
this.
monster munch.
the flavor is just yellow.
Yeah.
What flavour is a Monster Munch? Does it say on your packet?
Pickled onion.
This is pickled onion, apparently.
Does it taste like pickled
It
onion?
does.
to you?
It's got like a vinegar flavor to
Yeah,
it.
can I just smell that?
You can. You just want to.
I don't want to smell what's in your hand.
Can I smell your monster
It definitely
pig?
smells like pickled onions,
wow.
yeah.
So are we going 3 for 3? Because I'm back in the shapes as well. On the crisp
Okay.
front, it's 3 for 3 on the shapes, all right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll try
I'm gonna
that
try
the
these
shapes.
mini cheddars as well.
That's a shame as well, because a monster.
They are delicious.
They are good.
No.
But in comparison, I would eat
It's-
this drunk at the end of the night.
It's gonna be that hard thing. Like if I'd never had a shape before, maybe
these
I
on
wouldn't be
purpose.
as excited. But it's like the childhood memory of like the nostalgic.
We'll have those ones unless you want to keep them as well.
Well, put them in our bag.
Cool. Now these next up.
Right.
This is a difficult one because so I saw these. I haven't tried these when I was in Australia. Cherry ripes.
Yes.
Oh.
And these, I mean, I'm not going to give you any context beforehand, but I don't really eat Turkish Delight. You're probably not good to eat that. I don't think.
No, I'm not going to have those.
But this is new for me, both of these.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll do the cherry ripe first. Or do you want to do the Turkish Delight first? Switch it up.
Either or.
Let's go cherry ripe. Let's go cherry ripe first.
All right.
It's Cadbury.
Can I double check which one which one is this
the Turkish
UK
Delight's the UK one, and the
Okay.
Cherry Ripe's supposedly are Australian.
Well,
I haven't seen the fries Turkish. Like I've had Turkish Delights. It's
yeah.
similar, but not this brand.
Yeah, these. I thought we have these in Australia.
You do.
we
Well,
have Cadbury.
No, we got a
ones, don't
similar-
we?
Oh, we have
I've
Cadbury
never
ones.
seen a fries one, but I've seen a Cadbury
The
one.
packet looks so similar, but it's different. And this is
Yeah.
nice and thick.
I
though,
saw
like
this
that.
in every you got service station in Australia, cherry ripe.
They're good.
Yeah.
This is my mum's favourite chocolate in the whole wide world. It's really good. I know what I'm going into eating this, and I'm loving
Sam,
every
you look
second.
horrified. What do you reckon?
Oh, what the heck?
I told you the texture was funky.
It's like
It's good.
it's like marzipan or something. No, not
It's
marzipan.
desiccated coconut. That's what you're tasting.
Coconut.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
Desiccated coconut.
Desiccated.
I thought you said
You know what that is,
designated.
right?
Designated. That's like, yeah.
Designated
allowed here.
coconut.
No, I've learnt that, and I've learnt the terminology for why the salt gets pink from you today. I think you need to be doing some sort of like nature
Maybe
or
I should
science
just host like a
show.
science
Switch it up.
podcast.
We
Yeah,
can-
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Just how to make
so
sense.
much of
Yeah.
me. I'm like, say that again.
That can be a new. We can
Is
do a
it
new
on
series.
here?
Yeah, we could do.
Can we call it designated coconut?
Designated
Designated
coconut?
coconut.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the cherry ripe, and now this is interesting. I've also don't think I've ever eaten Turkish Delight in my life.
I have back in the day, and I actually love Turkish Delight, so I'm interested to see if anyone chooses the cherry ripe.
Interesting. So we're going to disappoint you if we prefer cherry
If you
ripe.
prefer.
Look,
That's what I'm getting
little
hearing from
bit.
this. Yeah. Full
Alright.
judgment.
We ready to go on our Turkish Delight?
Yeah.
Turkish Delight, right? Is it?
That's god awful.
What?
are you having me on? Don't
Mate,
please.
that shouldn't be surrounded by chocolate. What is it like jelly, bro?
Yeah.
I'm caught up in your reaction to even think about my own reaction yet.
So what do you guys
It's like a
think?
bar of soap.
So
When you put it that way, now I'm tasting the soap and I'm like conflicted. But no,
it tastes different to the Australian one because I
Does
thought it was
it?
going to taste like the Australian one.
Sure,
it tastes.
yeah.
the packaging looks so similar.
Yeah,
but
it's
I'm
got more of a rosy flavour. It is thicker. I do rate the thickness and the
Okay.
girth of the
That is
Turkish
how I
Delight.
like my chocolate bars.
Yes, it is girthy, and that gets at least
Yeah,
2
yeah.
points. Home favourite because it's mum's favourite, but I do love a cherry ripe on just on any day. It's just good chocolate.
I don't know if something about this Turkish Delight feels more like moist and gooey than a normal actual Turkish Delight.
So it's moist and
So-
girthy from VOE. It's our official
no, but
statements.
I think I'm gonna have to go cherry ripe.
Cherry
I'm
ripe.
sorry,
Cherry
yeah.
ripe. I think I'm going to go Turkish Delight. I really love
I'm gonna take another bite of the cherry ripe just to make sure.
Yeah,
I
it's
thi-
a close.
It's the best of a bad situation for me. I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of both. Cherry ripe wins though.
There you go.
Crazy.
There you go. I'm
Oh,
really
wow.
intrigued to know what the texture of that girthy, what was it? Girthy
Girthy,
moist
moist,
Turkish
yeah.
Delight is now.
Exactly.
Because I think I've got a really different idea in my head of the
Girthy,
Australian
moist,
one.
It's
pink.
different.
I'll take
Are
you
we supposed to
ch-
give these? Oh.
Well, it's just so.
Oh,
keep eating it. Keep eating it.
No,
Yeah.
I'll eat it at the end.
You can have this one back. That's yeah.
No love for
you
the
go.
Turkish Delight.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
very close.
I think the texture's a big part, and like
Totally. I'm
See,
really
I-
funny with textures,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from.
It's gonna
so
be in
girthy
context.
moist is not a common
Yeah.
texture.
Yeah,
for me,
don't
sorry.
know
if
about
that was
mate.
actual jelly, though, would you be okay with it if it was supposed to be jelly? Or are you not a jelly fan?
No, I'm not huge on jelly. Hey, I can't do anything slimy or squishy. Like, can't do avocados.
Yeah.
Sorry, so this
Ah,
time.
yep, fair.
So we've got Allen's strawberry and cream,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
which is, I'm sure
Classic.
you guys have seen
Yeah,
those before
yeah,
in your
100%.
life. Many a childhood party. And then we've got Starburst fruit chews.
Oh,
which-
they look like they're going to be similar flavour. There's some
yeah,
redness
have you got
going
yours
on.
already?
I've
Yeah,
got mine,
sweet.
yeah.
I'm going to have a fruit chew because I can actually eat these, but I'll pass them down.
Yay.
So we'll go Aussie first again, which
Aussie first.
which is the what is it called?
These
That's
are
a
strawberries and cream.
strawberries and cream, yeah.
All right.
Okay, you got to eat them like this, though, so you have to bite the bottom off.
What? No,
I'm
that's
very-
just weird. Ignore her.
First I've heard.
Yeah, I don't think
I like to eat the milky bit first, and then you eat the strawberry bit.
that's a you
by
thing.
itself.
That's not a normal.
I'm gonna try that.
You get rid of the milk stuff, and then you have the joy of the strawberry.
You see how they made it like
not
a
like the
small
milk?
bite-sized thing, and everything combined already? It's kind of like
And you eat the strawberry. I do the same thing
It's
with
almost
Mars
like
bars.
they did that with purpose.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I eat the outside of Mars bars first, and then the inside. I'm finding that I might be a weird person from your reaction.
I've got one friend who eats pizzas backwards, like cut first.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
that's jail time.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
jail time. Yeah.
the-
I eat the skin on the kiwis. Does anyone else do that?
Yeah, no, that's
Is that
a
not
you.
poison?
No.
Oh my god.
No, all the nutrition's in the
There's a-
skin.
there's
But I
a
think
lot
a
of
lot of
fruit like
people
that, yeah.
are haters on that as well. Yeah.
I've like the same as figs. That's the classic one. Like if
Yeah,
you ever get a
fig
fig,
skin,
people
yeah.
like peel it, and you can just bite
Peel
into
it. I've never seen a peeled fig. I just chomp it from the side.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of
This
people.
is
That,
so good.
Yeah.
Such a good.
Well, I'm trying
I've
to think
never
what
seen
other
a peeled
unhinged things
pig.
that I eat. I eat the green tops on the strawberries as well.
Okay, now you're just
Oh,
being
that's a bit-
that's just being offensive.
okay.
All right.
All right, should we carry
lemons,
on with the
lemons.
lollies?
Wait. Yeah, but you eat a whole, like just take a bite of the side of a lemon. Is that how you eat them?
A lemon?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pushing it.
Yeah. Just wanted to test how far to just go into.
Test the
Like,
waters.
So the strawberries and cream, opinion, good sweet,
Yeah.
good sweet.
Good solid sweet.
Yeah, not
Classic.
mad at this. And then the Starburst.
yeah, let's get a Starburst now.
What
Oh.
flavour have you guys got?
Oh, we got-
These aren't coloured. Normally this would be like bright
yeah,
red and these
they
would be
have
pink.
different colours here by the looks. Because we normally have red, pink, orange, and yellow.
But they're like obviously food colouring
I've
dyed.
never seen cherry before.
Yeah.
This is a lot more sweet. We got strawberry, I think.
I've got cherry here.
You both have cherry.
And then I've also got an apple.
Oh,
I like
that's-
sour as well.
Apple.
I
It's
like
a bit
it.
sour, hey?
oh, red
Oh,
apple.
it's apple. I thought this was going to be strawberry. I've been misled.
Same.
But I'm not mad.
Oh, yeah, red apple chew.
Oh, yeah.
The cherry one was fire. It was really good.
I've got a clear winner here, I have to say. Starburst for me.
Yep. And was it
Starburst.
because it was a surprise apple?
Yeah, it burst.
The surprise
Burst
apple.
the flavour I didn't
Yeah.
expect.
What? The Starburst burst in your
my
mouth?
Yeah.
It did what it said on the box.
Well done to them.
I think I agree. I think I'm gonna have to go Starburst. Like
Wow.
strawberries and cream is like classic, but it's not as exciting. It's someone bursting in my mouth. That came out wrong.
Came out exactly how you wanted it to, Tom.
Abby, you've had these before, right? When you were younger.
I have, yeah.
Do you have a preferred one then?
I also prefer the Starburst, I reckon, just because I'm not used to those flavours. Never
Yeah.
had a cherry Starburst before, and that was really good.
Well,
It's because of the variety. That's the draw card.
fair play. Well, looks like the UK take the win on that, which I think means we're even across the board because I think we were Aussie won first round, split on the second, and then a UK win at the end. So at least you know that if you're on either side of the world, you can get a good selection of food.
Thank you.
That's true.
This has been a great journey.
We
You could have led
seriously
with this.
Yeah, we should have started with it. Before we wrap things off, I think it'd be super cool for our audience who are sort of like all over the globe to get a bit of an insight into the Aussie scene. So if you've got any specific Aussie artists you guys think we should be keeping our ears to the street
yeah,
for,
yeah.
it'd be good to know.
Well, as Abby mentioned before, when we played the Wizard of Oz, Wizard. I'm like all juicy in my mouth because of this.
Yeah, it's really sticky.
My mouth is so wet right now.
Probably like one of the worst foods to have for mid-podcast.
Yeah, Wizards of Oz. Obviously we played with Echo and Sidetrack, but like friends of ours, Solomon France, Blaine Stranger, really cool.
legends,
Australian
and all
D&B.
super talented producers as well.
Yep. I mean, then you can like pop over to like NZ. You got like Lee Matthews. I'm just trying to think of who else we were touring with when we were over there.
Yeah, it's always hard, like coming up with the names.
Oh,
and
you'll
stuff.
see is someone
yeah,
that we've dropped
definitely.
some of his stuff in our sets, and they're one of those good ones that's not the drops that you would expect. And I think like he's got a lot of like halftime D&B drops.
Definitely. Another one is Pyrrhus. I'm sure like they
Oh, yeah, we just had a release of Pyrrhus.
Oh, damn, there you go.
We've
Nice.
just done one of their tracks, which has actually
choice.
done really well. It's one of my favourite drum and bass tracks we've put out this year.
No,
Oh,
that's cool.
sweet.
Yeah.
And from Little Australia.
Yeah, a bit closer to home as well. We've got the Floe'S boys too, who are actually
Yes.
it's with the same manager as you guys.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
And they'll be playing at Let It Roll too. They're actually they're
Yeah.
going back to back with Harry.
Oh, no
Yeah,
way. Oh,
that's
that's a
sick.
good little
Yeah.
tie-in.
Man,
We've
you're
been
gonna
very
have a- what a
excited.
blast.
Yeah, it's going to be like a little family reunion.
It's going to be so good.
We better bring some snacks.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope the shows go well. I mean, the tour so far, rolling through it and Let It Roll will continue
Yes.
We'll continue that. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Really good to chat.
Thank
Fun.
you.
No, thank you guys for having us.
Fun.
And for the snacks. This is, this has put you guys up above some
Yeah.
of the other interviews.
Normally you don't get fed on podcasts, but that's what I'm expecting.
This is how we
now.
sign artists. We just send them Starburst.
Yeah. Deal. Done.
Deal. Abby, thank you so much for co-hosting.
Thanks for having
Abby's
me.
going to be
It's been
back on
great.
again. I already know it.
I'll be back. Yeah,
Thank
not
you
saying the
guys.
last.
No, not saying the last. Well, you've got to do your science show.
Yeah. Science
yeah,
facts.
of course.
Science
Yeah.
with Abby.
What were we going to call it?
Designated
coconut.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.